up? What's up? Welcome back. Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome back to Let's Chop It Up.
What's up, brothers? How y'all doing? Good to be back.
Yeah, I want to first apologize to everyone that we had technical issues. Facebook was giving issues because they thought we worked with the Trump administration, so it was saying we were spam. So we can get on Facebook. But producer Jamie figured it out, and now we're back. And we're a little late. We're on CP time. So, how you guys doing so far on the start of the new year, man?
Where do we start?
Man, it's a lot going on right now. I think
really
it's hard to know where to start. I think I'm gonna talk on a personal tip. I'm just gonna shout my son out. I'm gonna shout out my family because my son, and I heard from him today. He finished. He's on his way to A school. If anybody knows me now, they know that is the big happening in my life. My son is in the Navy, and he finished boot camp, and he's on his way down to Pensacola, Florida, as we speak.
Salute to him.
So I'm very pleased. I'm very proud of him. He's about to kill the whole situation, man.
Very nice.
Very good, Derek. Happy for you, brother.
Congratulations.
Kelvin, how was your week so far? How your New Year so far, rather?
Very eventful. Just checking out the world events. You may notice I'm broadcasting from the state capitol right now as we speak. You know what I'm saying?
Are you broadcasting?
Yeah, you better duck, Calvin.
You better duck down, my brother.
I think he's broadcasting the Kanye West and Kim Kardashian divorce. That's the hottest topic.
You know?
Yo, I'm gonna tell you like this. This how I've been looking at everything. I'm just trying. The week has been cool, but I learned. Just like when the coronavirus started, I can only take it in doses. I can't take all of this in. I'm gonna take about 20% of what's out there. I can't take everything because it'll drive you absolutely crazy, you know. But I'm maintaining. I'm good, D. I'm good, fellas, and it's good to see the crew back together again.
Yes, sir. I feel you on that one, Kelvin.
Rod, how's your New Year starting off, Rod?
It's starting off pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I see we took one weekend off and then everything went crazy, as you can see, you know. But no, pretty good week. Me and you went out to dinner. Hadn't been out to dinner in a long time. So, you know, we got to breathe some air a little bit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Went to a nice place. But other than that, you know, everything else is A-okay. I can't complain. I'm blessed.
So y'all don't just disrespect me and Derek, right? We can't go out to eat. See how brothers do? You know, see how Derek did?
Speak for yourself. I got the invite for next week.
I see what's going on.
Derek and Calvin. I had a Groupon. It was only for 4. So basically, you know, but I'm going to put y'all down for the next one. All right.
All right, my man.
Yeah. All right. So the week for me was little. All right, somebody's coming in the house over there. We got deliveries. No, my week was kind of bad. I'm going to dedicate the show to 2 people that tragically lost their life this year to gun violence. My friends, the Williams family, lost their son. He was the first murder in New York City this year. He died on New Year's Day, act of gun violence. And then my cousin Sean Till got murder on the 4th. So this show is dedicated to them. I love you guys. Rest in power.
Wow. Yeah. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that, D.
Family, brother. You know, love, affection, and everything. Blessings to you.
Appreciate it, y'all. Appreciate it. So, what you want to talk about?
I think
what else is there to talk about?
Nothing else to talk about except what's going on in Washington right now.
Yeah, so we have Capitol chaos on the Capitol. So anybody take the mic. I'm a little under the weather, so you guys take the mic.
Well, I want to say this. Let me just say this quickly. First of all, I'm very, very proud of President Obama for his legacy and what he did, and for our people through all of the struggle to still maintain stability no matter what happens.
We're not tearing it up.
Yeah.
I mean, Trump is doing everything white people thought Obama was going to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's absolutely becoming
in less time, only 4 years.
Yeah. He's a wigger.
Yeah.
He's a wigger.
Yeah.
He's everything Obama wanted to be. That's what's going on with Trump. So you know.
Yeah. The thing is, like, it's just like you said. White America was terrified when we had our first black president. You know, about what he was going to do in his first term. He got a second term. And look what happened with one white man and one term in 4 years. The chaos that has been going on in this country. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We witnessed on Wednesday the epitome of a double standard. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I tell you right now, from my background in law enforcement and watching how that went down as far as the Capitol Police are concerned, if you live in Washington or Maryland, make sure you put an application for the Capitol Police because there's going to be a lot of openings.
Oh yeah.
There are going to be a lot of openings.
And there should be.
You're right, Calvin. There should be. The thing is, what I witnessed, like I said, from my law enforcement experience, when you know you're going to have a rally, a protest, a march, or whatever, the police, they have some sort of statistics on how many people are going to show there. They know if the climate is violent, if it's a calm climate. They know all this. They do a whole bunch of data and research on this whole stuff. They watch social media, is what's being said from the groups and stuff like that. What I saw was every friggin' rule broken when it comes to a protest. Those guys had sticks on flags, which are weapons, right? They had tactical gear. They had helmets. They had on backpacks with stuff in it. I seen backpacks with like billy clubs sticking out the back of them. Like you saw that at the rally when they had the rally before they went to the Capitol. You already know it's going to be hostile. So they were not prepared for it. With those, if you compare the numbers from Black Lives Matters march and the people that were arrested and how they prepared for that march, and you compare it to this event, you're going to see that there is tremendously a double standard, because they should have had a better perimeter set up as far as not allowing them to get too close to the Capitol. They shouldn't have been allowed to get too close to anything when they started to see that it was going to be a hostile type of group. You know what I mean? And they weren't prepared for that. From what I understand, too, the FBI and the National Guard also reached out to them before the event and asked them, did they need help? And they said they were good, but obviously they weren't. But hostile environment from the moment it started, and they clearly were not prepared for it at all.
And that's because
I just want to end it with this, because at the end of the day, law enforcement does not see white people as threatening. They only see black and brown people as threatening. That's why they do overkill when they have the cops there. And that's all I want to say.
Wow.
So go ahead, Derek.
Good. Let me just say something. Let me just get it right.
Go ahead.
To me, that, and I feel you on everything you said, Rod, but to me, that doesn't explain the pictures I saw of them taking pictures with the riot.
Oh, I got an answer for that, Derek. When you finish, I can explain that too.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, to me, I can't come from it from a standpoint of, oh, they were unprepared. Yeah, that's putting it lightly. I'm saying that many of them were in on it. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there. You know what I'm saying?
Derek,
and that's what a lot of people are not saying. You know what I mean?
Derek, you're 100% right. I'm gonna explain to you, right?
Yeah, we're in on it. It was an inside job.
In law enforcement, majority of police officers are Republican. I don't know if people know that, but that's a fact. Okay, so now the thing is, when you look at those cops at the Capitol, a lot of them did seem like they were in support of this group. That's why they were taking selfies with them. That's why they were not, hostile with them, pushing back. Now, yeah, of course, you saw some others macing the crowd and all that, because at that point, it had got completely out of control. But they still thought that they were going to be okay with them because they were in with them. And that's why I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of openings when it comes to Capitol Police. And if you are in Washington, put in the application, because you're going to be able to get a job.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think that it may be just a combination of the two, in the sense that, yeah, a lot of them were in on it, but maybe they didn't understand the level of the way it was going to go? Correct.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they knew they were going to go in there, charge the thing. But the thing is, the way the police were thinking was that, listen, these people are Republicans. They're upset. Trump is great for us, and they're sticking by their leader. You know what I mean? And sticking by our leader. I'm sorry. And the thing is, they got caught with their pants down. They just got quickly out of control. Where they basically were way in over their heads. I saw the shooting of the female from the Air Force that was shot by one of the Secret Service officers. Yeah. And I've seen people, on social media saying that she was basically a victim and this and that. Hey, welcome to our world now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if you saw the shooting, you would see that they had a barricaded area. They were breaking in, and civil service had the main entrance at gunpoint, and they broke through the glass, and she was the first one through the glass, and he popped her.
Yeah.
And unfortunately he killed her, you know. But the thing is, they were protecting an area where a lot of the politicians were, a lot of the officers were, so they were safeguarding an area that they could not allow them to get to infiltrate. You know what I'm saying? So basically, she was killed storming the Capitol and while committing a violent crime, and that's why she was shot.
And two, let me add something real quick. Like Nikki said, they was in on it. What happened to Blue Lives Matter?
Yeah, Blue Lives didn't matter that day. Didn't matter that day. And a cop was killed by them. Capitol cop lost his life.
And all these white domestic terrorists always hate police. And Ron, you could tell them how many cops get killed. Most cops get killed by white men. So
that's true.
And the thing is, they knew, I think it was inside, like a combination, like you said, Derek, because I listen to satellite radio a lot, and Jim Clyburn came on, and he said he has two offices, one on the third floor that no one really knows about except for his staff, and people that know him for years. You have to know the building to find Clyburn. He has a little second office. His main office with his name on it never got touched. They found out what the staff was on, and they had to barricade the door. So somebody built on the game. Somebody gave him a lot of stuff, a lot of information. So I'm saying, Kelvin, anything to add on?
Well, I think one of the things is this. I'm amazed that this person was able to get this level of a cult following in such a short period of time. What I'm saying is, to the general public outside of sheer New Yorkers, the rest of the country only knows this man from The Apprentice. There's no other way that they know him in Middle America other than The Apprentice. His development deals, all that stuff like that played around New York. He had this fake university. He did some shady stuff in Florida with real estate as well as New York. I don't understand how you can be this radicalized that fast. So he found out the base in the country that he actually gave them a platform and a voice, and he made them feel like they belong to something. And so as a result, he was able to empower them. And that's why the first time around against Hillary, remember, all the polls are wrong because all these people lied in the weeds. They was laying in the weeds, gonna vote for him anyway. So I'm just amazed because around the country, other dictators, and he is a dictator, around the world, other dictators have been doing this for generations. So parents and grandparents have always taught their children to be afraid of them. But this happened very, very fast, and that's amazed me. So the young lady in the Air Force, who I understand did a couple of tours in Iraq or something like that, to lose your life over this man who does not care about you either, just really amazes me. That's just absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Trump rallied them up at the rally, told him he was going to go down the block with them, and went the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
What he's doing is, like I said this before in another episode, I said, Trump taps in on your resentments and your grievances, and that's what he does. So he's using these people for two things. He's using these people to try to get his point across, to show that he is still in charge, he's still in power, and he's also using them for their money, because the amount of money that Trump has raised for this so-called voter fraud, and that's another thing too. They stormed the Capitol based on a lie.
Right.
What the reason that they're doing it is not even true, And then the thing is, if Black Lives Matter has a march or a protest based on an injustice that everyone had saw on national television right before their eyes, watch a man with a knee on a black man's neck and kill him. You know what I'm saying? They don't see that as being valid, but they feel that they're losing the country, and as a result, they lost the 2 seats in the House. They lost Congress because Trump was responsible for them losing Congress, and now they lost the Senate, and now they lost the White House. So following Trump, they've lost everything. And then they picked the worst day to storm the Capitol because they lost those 2 seats in the House. So now the Democrats are completely in charge. Dude, they're going to give these guys the business. I mean, they should have never pissed Matt. It's treasonous. It's absolutely treasonous what they did.
Well, I'm saying what I'm not trying to hear. I don't want to hear all these people that's now cutting my man off with 2 weeks left. I don't want to hear it. Lindsey Graham and all of them. I don't want to hear all that window dressing.
Too late now. It's too late.
I've had it, and this is it. I can't take anymore. No, you stay right with it for them history books. You stay locked, stock, and barrel.
Yeah, and like Brad said, that was their man when he talked about Obama's birth certificate.
Correct.
The thing about this whole thing to me is, I'm not shocked. I don't think most of us are. We knew how white America was. This ain't shock to nobody of color.
No,
Latinos know.
It's
You
not.
know what I'm saying? Asians know. Indian people, brothers and sisters across the world know. We all know who they are. They have invaded every fucking country in this world. Every neighborhood they have fucked up. So they just being who they are. He put the battery in their back. That's the only difference is. And he just let them, and they gave all of them a fucking stage with social media out. And now they got the new one, Parler, where all they're going to go to now because they all going to wind up getting banned. Like, we knew who we are. So I'm not shocked. I'm just glad that the rest of the world finally caught on to the game and saw it on TV. That's what I'm happy about.
Your brothers are preaching right here, man. I'm telling you right now. But here's the thing that I want us to pay attention to. All right, we know where Trump stands, and we know what that's all about. But the thing now, if you really pay attention, is they got us all on board with this dude Biden. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who we wouldn't normally be feeling under normal circumstances. So we really got to start paying attention to what he's doing too, moving forward, because we know he's going to slide in there eventually. You know what I'm saying? Very soon. So we got to make sure that he doesn't slip into some of his old historical, things that he's been doing.
But I gotta admit, Derek, though, he is diversifying his cabinet nice. Though I gotta admit,
no doubt. I love what he's doing. Right. But I just hope that it's just not lip service or just for the show.
Yeah, well, we gotta. Well, this is the thing. This is good news.
Time will tell, though. Time will tell.
I think this is the encouraging thing, Derek.
At this point, man,
I know people that never voted before, that are in their 40s, that voted this time, and they actually saw, not only did they vote, they saw the results. So I think now some of these politicians, especially when you see Georgia flip, I think some of these politicians are on guard that people now realize I actually can change the trajectory. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think right now everybody knows their feet are held to the fire. As far as Biden is concerned, I'm hoping Biden makes it 2 years. I don't know that he finishes this term. No disrespect, but you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, I think he was there to stop the bleeding. I think that's what he was there for. You know what I'm saying? So I think, Harris or whoever's going to go forward, I think pretty much will actually probably be making an appearance in this term.
The Democratic Party got to be held to the fire because once again, black folks saved their ass.
Yep.
Once again, a black woman led the way to save their ass.
And we gotta get
Latino people getting a voice too. That they better start listen to all of us. Because this country's turning brown, bro.
Yeah,
correct.
They better start listening.
Guys, get our money's worth this time. We can't just take our foot off the pedal, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we did what we had to do. We held it down, but now we really got to put the pedal to the metal and make sure that, listen, you're here because of us. Let's just put it like that.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So now we need you to just come and ante up, and it's time for you to do what you need to do.
But don't forget the local level, though. We keep forgetting the local level, and that's why we got a great guest tonight.
Absolutely,
Tonight we'll have some great guests to come in and talk about that. So Georgia. Any thoughts on what happened down in Georgia? Because Georgia got pushed to the side. Once everything went haywire at the Capitol and everything. Any brothers got any thoughts on Georgia, real quick?
No, I mean, Georgia came out and voted for 2 Senate seats as though they were voting for a president. You know what I mean? Which is huge. And, and like one of you guys said, you knew people that were in their 40s and they were voting for their first time because they understood what was going on. So a lot of people got informed when it came to this election. You know what I'm saying? Black people's eyes are wide open now. They're seeing what's going on. But back to what you were saying, D, about the Democrats. You're right. Their feet are to the fire now. We did what we were supposed to do. Now let's see what you're going to do now that we did what we were supposed to do.
Yeah, so I mean, shout out to all the strip clubs. Shout out to all the strip clubs. So the strip clubs came through. I mean, they was in there, signing people up, on the lemon pepper wings. You know what I'm saying? Bottle. Shout out to all
the pole, man.
Shout out to the strippers. I love the strippers. I mean, I loved them a long time ago. They some of my closest friends. So shout them out, man.
They got a state that normally would not have flipped. They got it to flip.
Now, quick question: do you think Donald Trump will go to jail?
God, no.
I don't think he'll go to jail.
And what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that?
Why he's not going to jail? I'll tell you why he's not going to jail. Because the damage that it will cause, and I can't believe I'm saying this, right? But the damage that it will cause to the U.S. reputation is too great for them to put him to jail. Let's call it what it is. All right, it's too divisive. That would be too divisive. He still has enough of a following to cause problems. You know what I mean? And you don't want to do that because you don't want them simmering. You don't want to turn them into a political martyr. All right. So instead, what you have to do is discredit him as much as possible. You know what I mean? Impeach him again if they can. Do those kind of things. But whatever you do, don't send him to jail, because it also sends a bad message to the rest of the world. Like, look, listen to what y'all did. You actually had to send your political leader to jail. That really makes us look like a third world country. Not to mention the fact that we have to worry about the enemy that we are now grown within this country after that. So
now I'm told that he's been shut down on every social media platform. Now, do you guys still maintain what you thought initially, that he will continue to build outside this? I think he's going to be weakened after this. First of all, it's not going to, this whole thing about starting his own cable network. I think a lot of people are going to back away from him after this. And I think what's going to happen is his following. I think, first of all, when these handcuffs go on everybody, was happening right now and stuff like that. Already, I'm hearing people cop the plea. Already, I didn't want the dude that was hanging from the chamber talk about, I didn't realize how bad what I was doing was, and I just want to apologize and beg for forgiveness. All this nonsense. What I'm saying is this: everybody is bold and stuff to them handcuffs and them sentences come down, and I think you're gonna see some changes. You know what I'm saying? See all that phone thugging. Watch. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
So I want to bring in our guest soon. I mean, like Stacey Abrams, you had like grassroots people like Sister Stacey Abrams. Somebody put in there. Can't forget Stacey Abrams. I can't believe I'm saying this, Young Jeezy and T.I., but I guess, you know, and well, Killer Mike has always been on. Gotta give credit where credit is due.
No, they played their role.
They played their role.
Hip hop can move things when they want.
Yes, it can. It's an agent of change, man. It has been since its inception, brother.
Yeah, hip hop can change. So, and we need more young people like Stacey Abrams, and we got my young brother, my frat brother. He's about to come on. Jamie, can you please bring in next again our political analyst, Keron?
Fellas, what's going
on? All right.
What's up, Keron?
Peace. Welcome
Keron,
back,
it's
brother.
Good to have you back again, brother. You got so much information. We brought you back again.
Remix.
We're doing a remix without Puffy.
I heard y'all just bring in different guests once a year. So that was the 2020 version. Y'all just bring me in one more time. Right?
Nah, Keron, we're gonna have you throughout, because this is gonna be a big year, you know, with the midterm elections coming up and stuff like that. So you're gonna be a regular guest on here. So we want to get your insight on everything like that. So speaking of midterm elections, let's start there right now. What do you think how you feel about the midterm elections, and what's the importance of this coming up?
Midterms, of course, is very important. But before we even get to the midterms, let's just sit on what we got right now, right? So Democrats have the control, right? They have the presidency, they have the House, they have the Senate, which this is the first time since 2014. Correct. Two races that y'all were talking about with Senator-elect Raphael Warnock and Senator-elect John Ossoff, like, kudos to the Democrats, but really big kudos to the people on the ground that were registering people to vote. I heard y'all bring your booty to the polls. I saw some of their work, and I'm telling you, it was really good. It was eye-catching.
High quality.
Yeah, high quality. It was in 4K too. It was dynamic. But on the real, Stacey Abrams, Cliff Albright, Latosha Brown, Black Votes Matter, and the other group, Fair Fight Action. They did their thing. They were on the ground. They got people registered. My older sister is in Georgia, so she's a part of the collection of people who voted. Big up to them for that. But and my butt
is big.
Democrat, Republican. Democrats have had control before. Has the hood been different? Has our communities been different? Have we benefited? Do we have a lot to show for it? This is where I think a lot of the political will and energy should really go right to paying attention to everything that they do. I'm talking about filling cabinets, what their priorities are for us, who is really going to be representing us. Why are they moving away from defund the police, particularly after we've seen what the Capitol Police, how they contradict themselves? There's a lot to unpack, but and I know y'all got a bunch of questions.
No. But, I didn't even think about the part where you're like, they really did step away from the defund the police, and then what we just saw, Like that is it right there. Look what we just witnessed. We witnessed two different Americas happen. And I said this before. If somebody was walking with a T, if they were walking with Skittles, it'd have been a total different game. And like, and then like, let's get, like, for example, like Keron, you went to protest this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, yeah, last year. And can you tell me?
Yeah, don't mix that up.
This is the sequel, though, man. Yeah. Yo, how we 6 days in, we have an attempted coup.
Yeah,
crazy.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, last year, my wife and I, after George Floyd, we clocked out of work because everybody was working at home. We clocked out of work and we went down to the protest down at the Barclays Center. And I'll never forget this because I feel like it was a warning. We're walking down Flatbush and there's a bunch of people coming up Flatbush. And these two young ladies, they look at us, they're like, "Oh, y'all look nice. Be safe." And it was like, those are like parting words. Be safe, y'all. Mm-hmm. And so we go down there and, the police are extremely aggressive. And I grew up in East New York. The police are always aggressive. But when I say they were extremely aggressive, people on the sidewalk, they're trying to push you further back. You step into the street, whether you're crossing just to get to the other side, or if you're just, going across with your sign, it was an issue all around. And they were in the middle of the street with the bus, the paddy wagon. They had all of their zip ties ready, and pushing people back, their shields. It was like we were at war. But am I used to it? Yes, because I've been to plenty of protests throughout New York City. So the experience that I have, and y'all as black men can back me up on this. If somebody touches your wife, what are you gonna do?
Oh no!
Oh yeah, we know what's gonna happen with this crew.
We know what Ronnie did recently, but that's another firsthand. Long time ago, Ronnie.
No, long time ago.
Let me say
that case is still open, D. Don't tell me that. No, Keron, I definitely agree with you. And I made a statement earlier, and when we came on, I said there's clearly a double standard. Like I said, they didn't see those white men as being a threat. But if that had been the other way around, Black Lives Matter could not have stormed the Capitol because they would have had too much policing there.
They could have stormed White Castles.
Yeah. No, you're right. The thing is, they would have had the steps blocked off. They would have had the perimeter where you basically couldn't get that close. But like I said, they didn't see those white people as being threatening at all, and that's why they got caught with their pants down.
Of course, well, you're absolutely right. But the other thing too, some of those domestic terrorists that were out there, they also are in law enforcement. So let's not get it twisted.
Absolutely. So and I was saying that a lot of law enforcement are Republicans, and they are law enforcement who are Trump supporters. And they're in law enforcement.
In the crowd.
A lot of those people in that crowd were professional people. They were real estate investors. They were some doctors. They even had, I think me and my wife had a discussion. There was some lady that actually paid for a private jet to fly to Washington to be part of that. She's a rich person that basically still got involved in that.
I hope she gets a private escort to whatever prison they're going to.
Correct.
Fly her out for that. But in continuing what happened, when we went to Barclays Center to just show even though the two could never be compared. Here you are protesting for Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery. There's clearly a staggering difference in how our folks are treated by the police and what justice, quote unquote, looks like for us versus somewhere else. So we're down there at Barclays Center and the officers grab my wife. So I react as every black man who loves their partner would. You know what I'm saying? That's my reflection. So I react the same way. And this stuff is on video. So it's not nothing I'm making up. Officers surround me. Both of us are thrown into the paddy wagon, whatever, taken to one police plaza. Police, they hit me on my side and on the side of my face. Like this happened. This isn't something I'm making up. And funny enough, just after the attempted coup, talk about arrest. They said they had arrested like 14. I was like, there was 14 of us on that bus when they took us to one police plaza. And in the cell that they had the men, there was over 30 of us. This is height of Corona in May. All of us in that one cell. And then when you think about the things that we've seen on social media with the attempted coup, they opened the gates for them to come through. They shook hands. They took selfies. I saw a video of one of them walking an older woman down the steps who had her MAGA hat on, you know. And then when you hear about all of the things that they've done, whether it be like smearing feces on the wall, taking property, taking, you know, mail from Nancy Pelosi's desk, you know, going in their computers. Like, when we think about what Black people would have done, first of all, Black people would have never, ever done some stupidness like that.
No,
because we don't put our feet on nobody's table.
And we don't.
So your mama will beat your ass.
And we don't play with feces.
we don't play with feces at all.
I heard somebody. I hate to interrupt you, but I saw somebody on social media that was comparing the riots at the Capitol to basically when they stormed the CVS in Baltimore. The Capitol is not fucking Target. It's not, it's not a CVS. Black people would have never did that to the building because they would have understood the repercussions of something like that. You know what I mean? But you heard them yourselves when they were in there. They said they were taking back their country. That's what they were doing.
Their country.
Black people are killed for less. Jamon brought up Skittles, iced tea. How about sleeping in your crib like Breonna Taylor was doing? Like, what was she really doing? The other brother just the other day, a Subway sandwich is what he had on him. Another brother, cell phone in the backyard. So Black people are killed for existing, straight up. And the officers are not punished. The people that are doing the killing, doesn't have to be an officer, are not punished to the same degree that we are punished for having weed. And weed is becoming legal all over the place.
Right. Yeah.
So when we really think about the staggering differences, I don't think Black people were surprised. I think all of the bystander, white, liberal friends and people that have grown in a bubble are surprised. And to me, this was like the finest hour for fascism and one of the finest hours for American hypocrisy. Like, this takes the cake for the year. I don't know what can top it. I don't want anything to top it. But when we think about that level of hypocrisy, this, and I tweeted about this, the confusion I had growing up, reading American history is one of my favorite subjects. Reading American history, liberty and justice for all, asterisk, big asterisk. And my confusion was, if we are preaching all of this stuff, how can all of this happen throughout history? And then here I am trying to convince my teachers of my circumstances, constantly doing it. Then I grow older and I go to college and I'm upstate New York with all of these white folks from all around the state. And I'm trying to convince them that this is my existence. And it's for naught. And in my senior year, Trayvon Martin is killed. And then we're having more debate, more discussion. And I'm trying to tell him he has skills in iced tea. And they don't believe me. And then here we are, bold, high definition on C-SPAN, the unblinking eye. You've seen it. What do you say now? So those are the people that are
you know what, Keron, I want to ask a question, and you just led me into it. So you are a young man who dedicated your life to this cause and trying to make life better for people across the board, especially your people. What do you say to young people who are now discouraged and despondent, and they feel like the system is so against them that they may not even want to become a part of it? So what do you say to those to just try to keep them involved and interested in believing in this system that doesn't apparently believe in them?
So I recently came across a really nice quote, and it's because a friend of mine, she's a teacher. She has 7th grade students. She said, Keron, I tried to speak to them. The very next day, they were crying. They were scared. They were angry at the things that they saw. They're frustrated, and I feel like you need to speak to them. And I'm like, I'm not sure what I can say that will be a guiding principle, but I hope that, what does come out helps. The quote that I'm using is that children are 20% of the population, but are 100% of our future. So when we think about that,
Amen.
the whole reason I'm knee deep in the cause and want to make a difference is because history was one of my favorite subjects. I read about all of the contradictions. I saw, all right, look, this is where I can make a difference. I can make a difference in helping my community understand government and recognize the connection that we need to have for particular resources that we need. If there are more of us involved in that, then we can make a staggering difference, because when we think about surviving in the meantime until there is overall systemic change, we have to be in those areas. So when you're 20% of the population, 100% of the future, you pick a path that's going to make a difference, because right now you have your parents. If you're a young person, you have your parents, you might have your grandparents. They've existed, they've done things so that you don't have certain experiences. What are you going to do for who's coming up after you? It might be hard to think about children when you're in 7th grade, but when you already understand the contradictions, you recognize that you're going to be growing up into this. It's not going to get better if you just, turn a blind eye to it. Then you recognize, all right, this has to be turned into passion and purpose. It just can't be pain.
Right. Absolutely. I agree 100%. And I think seeing President Obama take that house, I think even people our age saw that, it let us know that we can do anything. I know, to me, that's what the focus was for me. That was the biggest barrier I think that I've ever seen broken down in my life. And I believe Biden right now is going to name the first Black head of the Pentagon. Is that accurate? Have you all read that? The head of the Pentagon for the first time will be a Black man. So I think there are some things to look forward to, especially, going forward in this new administration and just in life in general. And I think the young people have to start seeing themselves as leaders, not just looking to leaders, but developing as leaders.
And we have to also put context to it too, because, one thing about Black radicals is that they will not let you have a moment. So Barack Obama becomes president. He's gonna be held to the fire. He ain't do nothing for us, blah 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 blah. And right. It's necessary, right? So I think there's a delicate balance that has to be hit. When I turned 18, of course, I'm now able to vote for president. I turned 18 in 2008. There was no question in my mind that I was voting for Barack Obama. Nobody could have convinced me of anything else. When Barack Obama became president, I remember going to class the next day in college. All of the Black students dressed up in suits and ties. We were so excited. Everybody was hyped because it had that sort of face value impact for us. It made us study more. The responses from our counterparts up there in Utica, New York, that's another discussion. But they were they felt like their country was being taken away, and that's where those seeds were being sown. But all in all, that excitement is necessary. But for us, where we at, and putting the context to it, Black faces in high places can't just be it. Right. They have to use that space to create a gap difference for us, like make an actual difference. One of the things that I think I said this at the start of the pandemic, I think everybody did. You thought about all of your local Black-owned businesses. If we can't go to them, how are they gonna make rent? How are they gonna make money? They were barely hanging on before. So a Black business relief fund, a lifeline specific to our businesses needs to be done, needs to be created. And I'm not talking about you lump us all in the minority and woman-owned. No. We need a Black business relief fund. Like we have to be intentional and specific, because that's the only time we're going to see them sorts of differences made. And, if we have this Black man that's the head of the Pentagon, what difference is he going to make? Is he going to change the foreign policy that we have with African nations where we can, build bridges instead of drop bombs? Like, what are we going to do? So I think always putting the context to it is a delicate balance so that we can really enjoy some of the progress that we make.
You saying something right there, and I feel you on that black faces in high places. We've seen that before. We've seen that going back a long time at this point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But then you just something else, a Black Business Relief Fund. You know, I just got a call from, let's say, you know, the Police Veterans Association, and they'll call you every week, you know, every year, just trying to get, you know, funds or whatever. So where does that Black Business Relief Fund come from? Because if you know, if somebody's calling my house on that, you know what I mean, or if there's something that I pay into, you know, I'm with that. So is that something that we get started, or do we wait on a celebrity to get that started? Like, what do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
So
It's come from the government.
yeah, well,
But everything can't come from the government, though, brother.
it could be private, public, like that happens a lot in government, especially when government doesn't want to have to pay for everything because, you know, they think that's socialism when everything is paid for. But when we really look at the importance of local, a Black Business Relief Fund doesn't just appear because you and I talk about it. It appears because the folks who have the power have heard about it. They know that their constituency needs it, and they have the political will to make them make it happen. Mm-hmm. So everybody was caught up in the 2020 elections, and we got to get Trump out. We got to get Trump out. They were absolutely right for that. But 2021 is by far one of the most important political years for folks that are living in New York City. When we look at our local elections right now, 35 of the 51 council seats are term limited. Council members have so much power. One of their biggest points of power is land use decisions. You know, when we think about our communities being gentrified, and, you know, that's still a battle within COVID and the Cooper temp and everything else that's happening, you know, with our communities being gentrified, the decisions that are made on public land and how developers get it, it's important. Council members can say, all right, no, you're not going to be able to do that. And the developers can't move forward because there's that partnership. They make the decision on land use. So when you have a developer that's proposing, look, we're going to build this amazing complex, but it's not going to be affordable to your community, but we're going to build this amazing complex. You say no because you want to preserve your local population. This is where you end up with a different demographic starting to move in, and your chopped cheese is too much money, and all the things that you enjoy about your community start to change. Yeah, your parks might be better, but then the cops start to harass you for being in the park late at night. So it becomes all of it's just not a good experience. So when we think about a Black Business Relief Fund, you get the ear of your council member who also votes on the city budget. New York City's budget is $89.1 billion this past year, even with COVID. That's absolutely ludicrous when you think about that. More than some countries. You think about the state budget, it's $170 some odd billion budget to fund everything in the state. So when you get your local elected officials to take a position and they're a part of that voice in that budget and carving it up, you get a Black Business Relief Fund. And their voices going up the chain, because you got city, you got state, you got federal. If enough of them are united on a position, and here's the other thing I don't think people are celebrating to some degree for New York, Schumer is now the majority leader of the Senate. So all of the I don't know if y'all been seeing those threats from MTA talking about, we're gonna have to another fair hike.
The bridges and
the
bridge and all that, right?
Yeah, all of that is from been unable to carve up the federal budget to where we can get enough. New York is going to benefit significantly from these elections in Georgia. So like there's going to be help coming. But if we don't hold Schumer just because he's a Democrat doesn't mean he has the Black community in the forefront of his mind. If we don't push the political will to make him kowtow and form a Black Business Relief Fund, then all of this was for nothing.
Correct.
Can I ask one last one from me, Aaron? First of all, maybe it's a two-part question. Are you, I'm not going to ask who, but are you leaning toward anybody for the New York upcoming mayoral race? I understand that the primary has been moved up from September to June, That's one thing. And the other thing is, why is it that it seems like the race for mayor in New York is always such a weak field? Why does it seem like nobody seems to want this job in the largest city in the world?
Great questions. So on the primary move up and it being a part of June, it was I believe in 2018, the state voted to essentially make the primaries all match the federal. So all of the primaries going forward now are in June. For anybody who's into politics or like even partially into politics and you live in New York, your main election is in June. We live in a Democratic state, a Democratic city, unless you live in Staten Island, of course, or Southern Brooklyn. Everything is blue. So all of everybody's a Democrat. Don't ask if they're something else. Everybody's a Democrat. You got to look at what their policy is going to be and how is that going to make a difference. When we think about the mayorship, I think the mayorship this year or this term is extremely unattractive because the thing about New York City, I think people have historically it's been jokingly like the third most powerful position in the country or something like that. That's how they'll talk about the mayorship of New York City. You got the president. They don't even think about the vice president. Whoever's the majority leader and whoever's the mayor of New York City. You got like that type of global platform. But it's extremely unattractive this go round because of COVID. You actually have to govern. You actually have to make difficult decisions. You're not just the bank. You're not doling out funds. You're not using the bully pulpit the way it normally would be done. It's not that attractive because of that. That's why there's a whole lot of savior kind of messaging that's coming out from a lot of the field. And as far as my personal preference, I don't have one just yet. Unfortunately, nobody
it's
is.
Too early.
It's too early, and I don't think there's that much attraction, in the messaging that's being put out. You got politicians like career politicians like Scott Stringer, even borough president Eric L. Adams. They're essentially.
You say Erica?
No, he's saying Eric L.
Eric L. Adams.
Yeah, I used to work with his brother.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah,
I actually interned for him, in 2013 when the locks were real short. And, just trying to get a level of understanding, from that level. But, as far as their positions, everybody's going to say everything we want to hear right now. They want to save the city, and that's good. We want things to be better for us. But I think a lot of people got political education this year. They recognize just being mayor doesn't make a difference.
If they could only bring civics back to school, that'd be great. That's the thing. Certain things. Real quick question. There was a question here about the mayor can the mayor effectively deal with the police unions? Anybody, Rod or Keron, answer that?
Effectively deal with the police unions?
No, they were asking how can the mayor effectively?
Yeah, how can the mayor?
Right.
Well,
because you got Lynch here, and he's very indicative of his own name. But go ahead.
No doubt. And what's wild is how they endorsed this.
They endorsed Trump. Yep. They endorsed him. They endorsed him.
So,
They revealed themselves right there of everything that the African Americans are saying about the police department. It's clearly racist because you didn't just meet Trump. You saw how Trump got down the prior whole 4 years, and you still endorsed him.
4 years from the 80s. From the 80s.
Yeah, from the 80s.
Exactly.
No, I'm just talking about him as a politician. Everybody, it's like Calvin said earlier. He said most people just know him from The Apprentice. I know him further than that. I know him as far back as the 80s. You know what I mean? But it's insane how the law enforcement did that. And first of all, law enforcement is supposed to stay out of politics. They're not supposed to endorse anybody.
Mm-hmm. Can I pose a question to y'all?
Sure.
Go ahead, brother.
What do y'all think about the possibility of impeachment with 11 days left?
Rodney, take it.
I'll take
Rod.
it from here because we actually talked
about
about this before the show.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with my wife, right? And right away I said it was ridiculous, right? You know, he did 4 years. Look at all the stuff he was doing. Now you're pushing an impeachment in 11 days or whatever. Then, as I did continue to do more research, I understood what they were trying to do. They're trying to affect him historically, where he basically can be the first president that was ever impeached twice. That's number one. Number two, it also helps to try to build their case. So if they pursue criminal charges against him, they also did the impeachment. And if, hopefully the Senate went along with it and they can get that through. But the main thing that they're trying to do with this impeachment too is stop his benefits. Because as a president, when he retires, he's going to get a pension for $220,000 a year. So he also gets civil service for the rest of his life. And he also, what's the third thing that he gets? He gets the money.
$1 million.
He gets $1 million budget for transportation a year from the government. So by them impeaching him, they're trying to stop him also from leaving with these benefits. Consider how much problems he's caused and how many crimes he's committed. And that's why I kind of see why they're now pushing for the impeachment.
Yeah, and then also he won't be able to run for office in 4 years from now.
Correct. He won't be able to, he won't ever be able to run for any office.
But I'm actually of the mind to think that that's unrealistic anyway for him trying to run for office again. Like he's too damaged for it.
Don't underestimate him. Don't underestimate him.
I said it the first time, but at this point, I really can't.
I don't think the party would run him. I don't think the party would run him.
Exactly. He doesn't need the party to run. He doesn't need the party to run.
No. I'm trying to tell you, he can't. He doesn't have. Even though he does, I think he's dangerous. I think it's dangerous to try and impeach him because he has just enough people, all right, to protect him and to turn him into a martyr, all right, a political martyr. I think that what you do is you know what I mean. Maybe if you impeach him, yeah, maybe. But I think what you do is you kind of if you can kind of flick him off some kind of way.
No, he's not gonna fade off.
He got 70 million. He got 70 million followers, and he might start his own party called the Cracker Party and the Coon Ass Coon.
Derek, look at what he just caused this week.
You know what? You might have a point.
He's leading a cult.
I think we actually spoke.
Very smart.
I think I'm confusing things because I think we actually spoke about him going to jail. All right. Yeah. And I don't agree with him going to jail, but I think that turns him into a martyr. But you're right. I think maybe impeachment. Yeah, if they can get him impeached, maybe that might be something to do.
My opinion about Trump going to jail is this, right? I always said he's not going to jail. I'm just not used to seeing white people in power that's rich going to jail. And if they do, they only go for a short period of time. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, there's a lot of things that we're not considering if Trump continues to remain free. Trump has a lot of control over a lot of people that can cause a lot of damage. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He can initiate a lot of homegrown terrorism. Okay.
Right.
Now, here's the other thing too, right? How he's more dangerous being free. There are a lot of secrets, national security secrets that are still in Trump's head that he knows. And he can sell those secrets to other countries. He's a very spiteful, dangerous individual. So the thing is, I'm thinking that the jail.
You actually said he has a head, man. That's kind of like.
The thing is, there's a lot of things he knows about this country that he could sell to foreign countries that could hurt us.
If he read all the briefs.
No, well, the thing is, he doesn't have to read them. He's not reading them. Somebody's telling him what they say. You know what I'm saying? So there's still a lot of stuff there. That's why I'm saying to myself that them jailing him starts to look a little bit more likely to me now. I'm not saying he's going to jail, but I'm saying that if you let a man continue to be free with this amount of power and instability in his mind, it's very dangerous.
I'm not concerned he stays in the country. Shoot, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
For real talk, I'm not concerned he stays in the country.
The thing is, you're starting to say, hey, okay, they cut his Twitter's account off. He can't reach his fans. Guess what? His son's Twitter account ain't cut off. His daughter's Twitter account ain't cut off.
They're going up.
Cachet that he has, man. They can go to jail. They can go to jail.
And they have been cutting off other people in the White House accounts. I've been watching that today. But the thing for me, for Black and brown people, with this whole, it just showed me what happened at the Capitol. We are not safe. The thing is, like, I always tell, and you know me, Rob, me and you are big gun advocates for this.
No, I'm safe. I'm safe.
Well, you know, I'm safe. You know, yeah. It'd be a grave mistake if they came over here. But you know, it's
You make a mistake, right?
They're not gonna chase me up the stairs. They're not gonna do that.
Nah.
Either.
But it just shows to me
What do you
like
mean?
we have to protect. Like they beat a sister down in the street. If y'all saw that, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
Went around,
I saw that.
like, you know what I'm saying? And the one white lady talking about we got your wig and all this other stuff like that. Like those kind of things, we have to start thinking. Like we're not safe in the street. I live in Queens. They was in Green Acres Mall protesting, and it's not safe. They in Green Acres. They might be bold enough to come over here to South Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? Then next thing you know, they're in East New York. You just don't know what these, like, you know, these Long Island Keron's like.
That's a career decision.
They won't be safe in the East. I'll tell you.
No, they won't.
My
They
man
won't
said
be.
He
They won't
was
be
with you
safe
for a minute.
Yo,
They have a limit.
There's a gun club in East New York. They don't want to come out there.
No doubt.
The hood got an illegal gun club. They got a gun club.
Devon, you bring up a excellent point. So, like, the other thing out to our people is that, you know, please don't be distracted by following the reality TV of this country. You know, a lot of in bringing this back, we have to focus on our communities. We have to focus on each other. We have to focus on joining organizations, going to community meetings. A lot of them are virtual. We got to be in tune with what's happening on the ground in our own communities. You know, what are the top 3 needs of your neighborhood? You got a lot of people that are food insecure, people that are housing insecure right now. You know, what are we doing for the folks that are right around us? And what is going to be our rallying point as a community? Because we can get real caught up in this stuff. And it's funny. Damon told me that he's new to Twitter, and I was telling him that you could get lost in Twitter because Twitter is you getting news on time and it's funny. You know, people throwing gifts with everything, like everything is coming at you a nice way, and we could get real like lost in that. But when we look at our communities, we got these elections coming up, all of these local elections. We got to really knock that out of the park. And then redistricting is something that we haven't even talked about. So the last time I was on, we talked about the census and the importance of it, and how the funds are doled out, et cetera, et cetera. Redistricting is what happens right after the census, because after they figure out, oh, there's this amount of people in this area, we got to redraw the lines, the political lines, the community lines. And when those lines are redrawn, it changes the demographics of your neighborhood. It changes how you win. They draw people in and they draw people out. So with that, that's a new political hurdle. After you win this year and you become the city council member and you take your seat, it's not a 4-year term. You're doing 2 years because you have to re-win. They have it. This is something that happens right after every redistricting. So the next election is going to be in 2023 for those same term limited city council seats. A lot of people are not prepared for that. So whoever wins this year, yeah, they'll have it, but it's only for 2 years, and then they have to defend it. And then they have another 2-year term. It goes to 2025, and then you start your 4-year term. But you have to keep winning. You know, so when I'm this encouragement that I'm thinking about for us joining an organization, understanding what's happening locally in your community. What are the top 3 needs? Yeah, your family might be good, but the rest of your neighbors are not. So we have to really understand that and really immerse ourselves in it.
Yeah. Keron, my last question for you, man. Do you have any? Are you running for anything in the upcoming future? Are you any political plans?
Oh yeah. I will be running for office soon, real soon. But it depends on how these elections essentially how things go. But I will be running for office soon. You all know I ran for state senator last year. It was my first time running for office, big office. It was exciting, and it's actually coming up on our anniversary of when we launched, January 20th, the observance of King Day. And our guiding quote for that was, "The time is always right to do what's right" by King. And regardless of how things went with the pandemic and having to pivot and turning this campaign into a digital experience, it was really good for us. And as me, my comrades, we pivot towards what this next race is going to be. We're excited. We're ready. And when we have the news to break, we will break it right here if you want.
You have
we definitely
support,
and we will fundraise for you, brother. We're gonna fundraise. We're gonna be out there.
No
That's a fact. We're gonna be out there. We're gonna be right there. So, Keron, thank you, man.
Any help, we're here for you, brother. We're here.
Yeah, we got you. Like, we got a lot of connections. Rod we make shirts, all kind of stuff. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna make it happen, man. We're gonna make flyers, all kind of stuff. Whatever you need, bro.
Yeah.
So, Keron, I want to say Happy Founders Day to you, my brother, too, man. Blue Fire, Go Mob. You know what I'm saying? You know. So, tell your wife I love her, and I hope to see you soon. Oh, anything you want to promote? Like you're running. This guy ran on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve or something like that. He ran.
So I'm a part of Black Men Run New York City. We run on every Wednesday and Sunday. On Wednesday, it's in the evening, 7:15 p.m. And Sundays, 9:15 a.m. at Grand Army Plaza. Come through. You don't have to have any experience. You may have never run a mile. You can come and run with us, and for
I'm not running.
I might holler at you on that,
Keron, if you have a walk, I'll come with you. If you have a run, I'm not coming with you.
Black man walk.
I might do
it's over.
I'll do a crawl, and I might be the person holding the water cup.
It's all speed, though.
If you do a walk or a bike ride, I'm with it. All right.
It's all speeds. Y'all come out. No man is left behind is really what we go by. So if you're coming there for the first time, you will not finish that run by yourself. It's something I'm really encouraging people to get involved with. Last year, our health was tested in a way that no one was prepared for. So making something like this a part of your regular routine can really shift and change your chances of survival as we move forward with really, really uncertain times. And before I close, thank you, brothers, so much for extending a platform like this. I think it's important that we're able to bring the barbershop home, bring it to everybody's devices so that they get an opportunity to just kind of be the fly on the wall and take in some information. And you never know what people are doing with this stuff. So thank you all.
Thank you for coming on, brother.
Have a great night, man. Happy New Year to you.
Peace, brother.
Man, I might holler at Keron on that Black Man's Run, though, man, because my wife has got Black Girls Run. You know what I mean? I'll see the change. I might have to jump on that, man.
The only word I don't like in that sentence is run. Anything with that.
I ain't doing that. I ain't running. I ain't skipping.
Yeah, we need like a black man Uber's march where you get an Uber and just ride.
Black man Uber.
Yeah, black man Uber's march. Yeah, for the lazy black man. For the black man that's not in shape.
Yeah, man. I was talking to him on New Year's Eve guy. He said, I'm gonna warm up for like 4 minutes. I'm gonna run like 30 miles. Like 30 miles. Like this guy, this guy's insane, man. I love that brother, but man, he be running laps, man.
Did we mention Isaac Wright for the mayor?
Isaac Wright.
No. Isaac. I'm sorry. Isaac Wright is supposed to be running for mayor for next term for New York. He's the guy that they did the TV show called Life. It's about him. He's like an attorney that went to jail.
Oh yeah.
He's supposed to be running for mayor.
Oh, I didn't know he's a new. I thought he's a actor,
not the actor.
I know.
The guy who's the story about. Yeah.
Oh man, I thought he was in Jersey. I didn't know he's in New York now. So that's what's up.
Yeah.
So listen, we gotta go. We got a commercial now. We went over a little over time, but it was well worth it and everything. So, Jamie, can you play it for anybody bringing our first promotion today?
Sponsor. Get a sponsor.
Sponsor. Sorry, sponsor. My game is a little off today. Sorry.
It's all right, D. We got your back.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Commercial break. So, then this last year, so we know that now we have a vaccine that's out, and we saw some of the discrepancy in the hospitals in our neighborhood, healthcare in our neighborhood. So we're gonna have our next brother, my man Thomas Hundley, and he's the vice president and CEO of Howard University Hospital, Historical Black College, another HBCU. So, Jamie, can you bring in our brother Thomas into the studio?
Thomas, how you doing, brother?
All right.
Hey, what's up, brothers? Hey, how's it going?
All right, how you doing?
Good.
All right.
Thomas, man, I know we hung out last time before COVID. We went on vacation, so it's like hopefully by 2022 we'll have another vacation. So
I hope so.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So Thomas, tell the people a little bit about your background, what you do.
I am a 26-year Army vet, retired as a full-bird colonel last year in 2019. All 26 years, I served in the healthcare field. I worked at 4 different hospitals as basically the chief operating officer for those hospitals in different capacities. And so I've been in the healthcare field and primarily healthcare logistics for a while. So with this vaccine, it's near and dear to my heart because it touches on just about everything that I've had to go through over the last 26 to 30 years in the field, from the distribution, from the warehousing, from the pharmaceutical sales of it, even to the receiving it in the hospital setting. So yeah, this is near and dear to my heart.
Cool. So like over the last few months or so, a lot of people are skeptical in the vaccine because with the history, how especially people of color, we have seen how the vaccines have, with shots and stuff like that, how the miseducation and the misleading of our people through time with vaccines and all kind of stuff, from Tuskegee experiments, when they saying black women could take pain more while giving us anesthesia. So how do you educate, or how you build trust in our communities with what's going on with the vaccine right now?
We have to start at the grassroots and just give people education. What I found is that you have a lot of myths out there, and it's so easy to believe a lie and to believe something sensational. Just the thought of somebody believing that you could turn green, grow 3 eyeballs and 8 toes. It's just crazy how people could actually believe that and say, I'm not going to get the vaccine because of that reason. So you have to start at the grassroots and give them the information, such as the reason why the vaccine came so fast is because there is a need. Typically, whenever someone creates a vaccine, you have to have a cause. You're not going to go create a vaccine and spend billions of dollars for mumps when you only got 5 people in the world who get the mumps. So then you have to find funding once they get the vaccine. And they had no shortage of funding because the need was so great for us to create something super fast. And that's the reason why it's out here now. They did all the tests that you could typically do on the right amount of people, except for they couldn't get enough Latino and African Americans to volunteer to be tested. But they had enough. But they really wish they could have had a bigger population to actually do testing. But I would tell you, I took the vaccine when it first came out today, and I've now already had my 2nd dose. And I would tell you that I had no side effects whatsoever. Of course, your arm or the injection is a little sore, but outside of that, no fever, no chills, no heart flutters, no cold sweats, no breathing problems. Any of those things that they say you're supposed to get, had none. And here's the best thing. In my hospital, we had one person that didn't look like me, who actually had those side effects. But all of the people who looked like me had no side effects, from my CEO all the way down to my environmental services leader, and also one of his employees who's over 60. No side effects whatsoever.
Thomas, what do you think this does to change our plight with just having the vaccine readily available now versus where we were this time? Well, I guess last March. What does it do as far as the mask and going forward, the protocol? Do you see an end to this current situation where we're at right now?
In this, if enough of us get the vaccine, I think they believe that herd immunity comes after you reach 75% of the population getting the vaccine. And I tell you, with this virus, just something like you've never seen before. I mean, this virus here, just think about it. If you get a cold, you know what symptoms you're going to get. Everybody's going to get them. It does not discriminate. You know, you're going to get a runny nose, fever, cough, you know, stuffy head, all of that. Well, with this virus, man, some people can lose their taste. Some people can lose their smell. Some people can have breathing problems. Some people can have no symptoms at all. And some people can have all of the symptoms. I mean, so, you know, it is one thing that is, it's unlike anything we've ever seen. And so, you know, with us having this vaccine, now we have something that can stop it. I am very confident that I'm 95% effective in not receiving the virus ever. I think I like my chances of having that than taking 25% chance of me getting it. And if you've seen anybody who's had it, or you know someone who has had it, and I think everybody here does, man, it's something that you don't want.
No, Thomas, you don't want that smoke. You don't want that smoke. That's the worst smoke I've had in my life, man. That's the worst smoke ever.
Listen, Thomas, I go to the barbershop, and I'm gonna go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
No, real quick question. Somebody asked, did you take the Pfizer or Moderna?
I took the Pfizer.
Took the Pfizer.
Pfizer.
Yeah, I was going to ask the same thing, but I have another question, Thomas. Mm-hmm. From people that I talk to, including myself, I think that most African Americans are not worried about the initial effects. I think that they're mostly worried about the long-term effects of it. So the thing is, immediately taking the vaccine and then maybe 3-4 years down the road may be the issue. You understand what I'm saying? I think that's what I hear from most people, and including myself. How do you answer that?
I truly get that. I really do. But I look at the short-term effects of catching the virus. You won't be around 3 to 4 years to even worry about that. You know, so again, if I not take this to the barbershops when I go, do you remember when Magic Johnson came out with HIV? That was a virus too. And they told all us brothers that if you get a condom, you're 97% chance that you will not catch that virus. Everybody ran out and got a condom. Everybody has used them all this time. Well, now they're telling you that this vaccine is 95% effective of you not catching corona. Why are you not getting it? Your Johnson cannot be more important to you than your life. I'm sorry. It's just not.
All right, Thomas. Thomas, that's a stretch. That's a stretch.
Thomas, I'm with you, brother. The views reflected on this show.
It's true.
For some of us without the Johnson, there is no life.
No, because reason I was asking about the Pfizer Moderna, because recently one of my friends is an investigator for New York State, and a certain population of people, because I want to make sure we keep sponsors, I don't want to get sued, I want to keep my job. They stole the Moderna vaccine virus, and with that said, there's certain group of people I'm like, damn, if they get the Moderna, is that the better one to get, because they don't believe in vaccines? So I don't know what's the difference. Why did your hospital choose Pfizer over the Moderna?
No, it's the way they're distributing it. They're giving Moderna to some of the local CVS and Walgreens and Walmart, those type of pharmacies. They're sending out the Pfizer. Pfizer came out first, so they sent that out first, or it got approved first. Let me just say that got approved first, so they're sending it out to some of the major hospitals. We were at Howard University Hospital, we were one of the hubs. So that meant we received a large amount of vaccines, and we had spoke hospitals that we were responsible for giving their allotment of vaccines to, and that's what we still serve today. So the difference is from the two. One is 95%, 96%. The other is 95%. One has to be frozen at -80 degrees Celsius in one of those super freezers. The other one can be stored at -20, which is typically what you have in your house, one of those type of freezers. And of course, your first shot is on one day, and then 28 days later, you get your second dose. Pfizer, you get the shot one day, and 21 days later, you get your second dose. I mean, so, but both of them are 90% effective at stopping you from catching the virus. And that's the message that needs to go out to our communities is, listen, if you want to be around to even see the next 2 to 3 years, you need to do this because here's what I want. Here's what scares me. As this virus grows, have you noticed that it's mutating? It was affecting people who were over a certain age, and then it was affecting people who had comorbidities. Then it started. Have you noticed that it's growing, morphing, and mutating? And now you hear there's another strand. What I'm afraid of is that 75% of us are going to get the vaccine, and then that other 25%, oh, that virus is going to wreak havoc on them, and it's not going to be pretty because it's going to get stronger, looking for something to sustain it, and that's what I fear.
But do you think that you just mentioned that there's new strains of the vaccine? Does that mean that you're going to have to get? You foresee having to get a new vaccine shot every year to deal with the new strain?
No. The vaccine that they have now is effective for the coronavirus. This new strain, all it is, it doesn't any sicker or any worse right now. All it does is make it's transmitted a lot easier. So that's the reason why it's more contagious than the first strand that we actually saw. But I do believe that going forward, that the coronavirus vaccine will probably become part of our life now. I mean, it's just like how the flu shot has become part of our life. I think this is the way we're going to go with this. And it's going to be an annual dose as opposed to to get 2 shots every year. I think it's just going to be 1 dose.
Yeah, that was my question. I got
Yeah.
You believe that it's going to have to be an annual shot that we have to take pretty much every year?
Yeah. How long does this vaccine? How long does it affect?
Yes.
If you get this in 2021, how long does it last? The vaccine. If you get it in 2021, how many years? 2 years?
I believe that it's going to be annual. It's going to be an annual thing. So you'll be good to go for another year after the second shot.
So you'll be taking 2 shots if you believe in the flu shot. You'll be taking your flu shot, and then you'll be taking your coronavirus shot. Yes.
Okay. That is true.
Okay.
And do you think with the market, we have a friend named Anton Gunn. He was a part of the Obama administration when they had the Affordable Care, and his first thing was marketing. Do you think that with this presidency, that who's the person in charge and his administration, all the people like that, is why people are hesitant to get this vaccine?
I think it goes a lot deeper. I go a lot deeper and a lot further than that. I think as far as our community is concerned, we have we just don't trust. We especially don't trust the government, and right. we have a right to because of what has happened and what we are currently seeing now. I mean, it's a hesitancy because of that goes a lot farther. I mean, people bring up the Tuskegee study. I mean, after you saw the effects and the truth came out about it, of course, it'll make you kind of hesitant to want to do anything, as an African American person. So yeah, it goes deeper than that. But I can say that what the current regime now, it's probably a little gas on the fire to make it even worse. Say, there's no way I'm doing it and trusting, with the current administration. So I believe that has a lot to do with it as well.
And we got a lot of delays now, like in local governments, and I guess maybe what can you explain to people what's the delay for certain people to get certain areas? Because I took my mother to the doctor yesterday, and the doctor's like, I can't do this procedure on your mother unless I advise you to get the vaccine. And so I told her I live in Queens, but in Long Island, it's a different kind of population. They already have that you need to go on the website and look for Long Island to get the vaccine. What is the delay in certain neighborhoods that people that got hit hard with the vaccine? What is the delay on the local or federal level? Do you know?
What I've found is just from me understanding and being prior military and some of my friends still in and operating on this, I think it's a distribution problem right now. It's just a distribution delay, and plus on top of that, they have put a priority on who's going to get it first. Healthcare workers, people who are high risk, educators, and even with that, and I'm gonna come back to what you just said. Even with that should tell you that it's pretty much safe. Now, if they were targeting one segment, one population, especially say, hey, all Black people get it first. Now I'll be like, time out, hold on, And even if they were giving it to all the wealthy and maybe the white population, I may say, time out, hold on, what's going on? Why are you leaving us out? You know, so, but they're not doing that. They're doing it to healthcare workers. Now, why would they even further cripple the medical system if they're giving it to healthcare workers first, the people who have to treat this virus or the people with this virus who are constantly coming in and this thing is rolling. So that let me know, hey, this thing may be safe. Then they're giving it to the educators, the people who have to take care of our kids. They're trying to get kids back into school. There's no way they're going to take care or kill off the people who are taking care of our kids when our education in this country is the best in the world. So, you know, with those two things, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this vaccine because I believe that this time they got it right.
So another question was, oh, sorry. All right, go ahead, Tom.
Problem, I believe, is why they're delaying things. It's nothing more than that.
So somebody asked the question, once you get the vaccine.
Yeah, I hope I didn't lose you. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, no, because it's a little choppy. Once you get the vaccine, can you hear me, Thomas?
Oh, no.
Thomas, we can hear you. Thomas?
Got the same Wi-Fi as me.
Yeah, you got that cricket.
Yeah.
Teddy Riley.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah.
Well, this has been some very good information. We got Thomas back.
Got him back?
I don't know.
Thomas, can you hear us?
I don't see him.
No,
I see him.
He's not back.
I can
He's not
see
back.
him, but
I think it's log off and log back. He probably has to log off and log back in. Yeah, this is educational. Like, you know, like my thing is, you know, we are hesitant on.
I got a promotion.
You know, there you go.
Yeah, you got demoted.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know,
I want to be closer to Derek because we both light skinned. I don't like it when it's mixed
no,
like
we need a contrast. We're not gonna let y'all unite.
That's Calvin doing it. Calvin says, I want them separate. I want them separate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think y'all trying to do. Y'all trying
I like
to
that
storm
one.
the studio.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
He's trying to show us that we're all equal. He's trying to show us that we're all equal. Oh, now there we go. Derek, that's where I want it. I want us close. I know what they're trying to do.
We ain't seen Casper since the Capitol got stormed.
Yeah.
And did you?
Unfortunately, we lost, I guess.
Did you sell strikes again?
Hey, man, I'll tell you, we had really great advice tonight. We had information. I like his information, and you know, and I really pay attention to guys like that, man. You know, he seems like on one level, what I got from him a lot was, and this is serious business. You got to believe, bro. You got to have a certain level of faith has to go into you taking this vaccine. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm kind of like the person. I'm kind of like you, a couple people, man. Like I'm like, I don't know. And you know, the vaccine is kind of like that car, that new car. You don't want to take the first version that come off. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of like was always my thought process on it. You know, so I'm kind of looking to see what's happening the first. You know what's going on. How effective is the vaccine? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think more people of color.
I'll wait 5 years. I'll wait about 5 years.
I think more people of color is they worry about because not the long, like you said, I think Ross said it, the short term. Yeah. You know, I think people worry about 3 years, 4 years from now.
All right, that's what I'm saying. I'll see you in 5 years. You know,
you have
in 5 years.
Are your children your children gonna come out correct from this?
Correct.
Stuff like that, you know. Correct. So we trying to make sure. That's what I think more people are nervous about.
And the thing is that you know, and I'm not trying to knock a guest or anything. The one thing that we left out in the discussion is how much money is going to be made from the vaccine.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, a lot of corporations, company, like me, with my belief in corporate America is not strong. They're based on money. They're based on just a dollar. They don't really care about people. So I have my doubts about
back.
it. Oh, Thomas is back.
Thomas is back.
There you go. My brother's back.
They can't stop my man. They can't stop my man.
There you go.
You paid that Wi-Fi bill.
Damn, Thomas is on that Teddy Riley plan. What's going on with it? Yeah.
Yo, thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa. Oh, listen, Lisa texted me on the side and said, "Where's her shirt?"
It's coming.
We have the 10th. Lisa and Brad and we gotta get Keron a shirt too. I just realized that. I talked to Keron.
Let's top it up, y'all.
You want to hear something funny?
What's that?
The shirts just got delivered 5 minutes ago.
Oh, that's what. Oh, that was a. Oh, good. That's
That was
what's
the
up.
doorbell?
That was the doorbell. Yeah. I didn't want to make it seem like it was me, but that's the doorbell. Yeah.
All right, so I got to go back to it was a question by Dave. Is a question by David. Most military installations don't have enough of the vaccine to what's
inoculate the entire population.
No. My thing. Somebody text right then and move my thing up. Yeah, inoculate the entire
Most
population.
military installations
Yeah.
don't have enough vaccine to inoculate the entire population.
Your
That's what
population.
I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. You know, but
Is that David? Is that David, our boy? That's David. David. That's our boy.
Yep.
Oh,
that's
what
it.
up, Dave? What up? He's military too. He's military. These guys got a lot of birds on their chest. These guys, like, they've been doing a lot of stuff. They got different kind of money and all kind of stuff. So, but yeah, Thomas. So we just talking about like the people I think was more scared about the long term effects and stuff like that of the vaccine. And I think that is that. And things have seemed like it's been rushed because people look at information, like you said, on the net and stuff. Like most vaccines take 3 years, 4 years to come down the line. We still haven't got an AIDS vaccine and stuff like that. People are saying that all the stuff on the social media. So I think that's what I think is holding up. And for most people of actually trying to think about getting this vaccine. And then I think people are like, man, I'm gonna wait till the summertime because they want to wait for 5 months to see how things go. If you're gonna grow another eye and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I know you guys have a hard job.
And again, that makes sense. And I never try to convince anyone or tell them that they must get the vaccine. What I try to do is give them the information. And because we're all men, we're all grown, we're all women, because they're not giving it to kids yet or under 18. You form your own opinion because you got to write your own book, and so I give them the information and hopefully that what I say will debunk some of the myths that they already have in their head. And it may help them make an informed decision for themselves.
Oh, Robert Mitchell, I can tell you right off who profits from the vaccine: Pfizer and Moderna, brother. That's who profits from.
Yeah. Hey, I bought that Pfizer stock, so I ain't gonna. Maybe Demond. Maybe Demond.
Make sure you
let me ask you this, Thomas. Thomas, let me just ask you a question. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I could just answer about the Pfizer and Moderna.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's up, Thomas?
Just real quick. I know that Pfizer, they did all their own money. They wouldn't take any of the government money to produce the vaccine. I think what they did is they thought they found something true and legit, and they said we're not taking any money from anyone that's going to be in house, and then so whatever profits they make, they make. But Moderna, I believe, got money from the government to produce X amount, and if they were delivered, they would promise more money after that. So I'm just happy that I've gotten one of them and that I'm 95%. And I'm just I thought it was the right thing as a leader for me to set the example and be a soldier for my family and, be a servant for the people too. If I could be an example to anyone, that's what I wanted to do.
Thomas, let me ask you this question. I have a friend that's been in the military, I think as long as you have. He's right now in school to become a sergeant major. And I can only imagine how he felt watching the Capitol get stormed. Just quickly, what was your impression of what you saw this week?
Man, it was tough down there. We were locked in for a minute. The one thing that bothered me more than anything else was the hate that I saw in the eyes of the people. It was, as they walked across, our hospital grounds, they parked in our parking lot and walked to where they were going. You could just sense and feel the hatred that was coming. And, that's the scary part because there's no getting through to that. It's like, you can't even love that out of them. And I don't know what, it was the first time I ever felt like, there's nothing I can do to change that person's mind. I felt help in that regard because there was so much hate there. And they were in droves. And here's the thing, they were suited and booted, man. They were armed to the gills. And, and so that lets you know they were not coming there to play. And so I just say, man, it's a scary time we're living in. And, it was crazy. And we actually had to treat one in our hospital, and, our guys at our hospital are so professional, trying to maintain the calm, even though they're coming in with all their paraphernalia, and they are, when they realize that they're treated by a historically Black college or all Black employees, they didn't like that too much. And so our guys remain professional.
They lucky they ran into you. If
Yep.
David ran into Dr. Damon Pearson out of the world, if he dies, he dies.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Ron.
Right. The
Go
thing
ahead,
is, it's amazing. I said it earlier. You know, Thomas was able to analyze and see the people and the hate and the threat that was coming, but the Capitol Police didn't notice it. That's amazing to me.
Yeah.
You know.
Let me ask you a question. What's the morale, man, around the people that you know regarding what happened, on that day? You know what I mean? Like, let's say, because we know that at this point there was no National Guard, let's say.
Right.
You know what I mean? Presence. So, like, what's your morale on that level? Like, what are you guys, how are you feeling, in terms of your own involvement?
We're feeling just like everyone else that looks like us in this country, that there's a double standard, that it could have never happened to, if it was, again, Black Lives Matter, it was a totally different situation. The National Guard was there, and so we're feeling the double standard, nothing new, but it just is right in our face. And so, the morale is still high because we understand that progress is before us. And so we have to continue to strive for that progress before us and just remembering and taking those lessons from behind. But yeah, I think, people are feeling just like you all are feeling. We're upset about it. We're hot, but we understand we got a lot of work to do. And that work starts today as we see it, accept it, embrace it, and say, now let's do something about it.
Right.
Thomas, David asked a question. What do you recommend to families that don't believe in vaccinations? Should they make an exception for COVID-19?
Again, I'm going to say this because this is what I believe. I believe that everyone, if we want to get back to life as normal, we're going to have to get this vaccine. I mean, because can you think of anything else that can prevent you from getting this virus? I can't. It has not been created, because before a couple years ago, this virus hadn't been created like this. And so, I just believe that in order for us to get back to life as normal, so we can go back to Costa Rica, I believe we're going to have to take
That's the last time I've been on a plane, man. Damn, word. The last time I've been on a plane, man. Word, man.
Hey, if you're going to go to a plane, go there, brother.
Yeah, man. That's right. That's my man's wife is from there. So real quick, Dwayne asked the question. What happened if you missed the second shot?
Then you're just 50% covered. The first shot gets you to 50%. The second shot gets you to 95%. You miss the second shot, you're just halfway covered. That's all.
How long out?
It's like missing an insurance payment.
Yeah, how long out can you take a second shot? Because we're saying, like, I think there's a certain amount of time that you have to take the second shot in. What if you miss that window or whatever? Like, how far out is that window?
Yeah, okay. It's like, again, the window is narrow, and we've been very strategic in making sure that everyone gets their next appointment as soon as they get the first shot. And so, it's 21 days for Pfizer. You got a 21-day window. And then, so you can't get it before, but you got to get it on that 21st day. And the same thing with Moderna is 28 days. That's the window. So you schedule that appointment and you make that appointment. You get it.
Gotcha.
But
what would you say about a brother like me, man? Because I'm on the fence. I'm not going to lie. I'm on the fence. I'm one of those dudes that's kind of like, man, I got to wait and see. And,
I'm not on the fence.
You know what I mean? Whatever. Yeah, Rodney not on the fence. He ain't.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm saying, like, a brother like me who might be on the fence or whatever, what would you tell me to say, okay, you might want to consider the vaccine. You might want to go over there because XYZ. What would the XYZ be?
Well, first I would tell you this. I want you to bring me back in 6 months. And if I'm looking like Pookie from New Jack City, don't get that vaccine.
We're going to bring you back every 6 months for the next 5 years. That's what we're going to do, Tommy. Every 6 months for the next 5 years.
Listen, that's it, right?
That's it. That's a good idea. We're going to have a check-in on Thomas every 6 months for the show. And see if he grew another eye.
If he grew a finger out his forehead or something.
Yeah. Thomas, if you look like Pookie, they didn't give you no vaccine, brother.
Yeah.
They gave you something else.
They gave you that ooh-wee. They gave you ooh-wee. Yeah.
Hey, I told my mother that I got the vaccine, and my family's from Mississippi, so they ain't understanding any of this. Of course, they're not trying to take it or hear about it right now. They don't trust anything out of Mississippi, and so my mom said, "Boy, if you're gonna get 3 eyeballs and 8 toes if you get that vaccine." And I said, "Well, Mom, guess what? I'll be able to see you better and run to you faster." It's all good.
Hey, listen, you come back to Walking Dead, Thomas. I will have to shoot you on vacation.
Yeah,
You're not gonna bite me, bro. You're not gonna bite me. It was a question I think here. Trying to read. What do you think about the UK giving out the second round of shots as the first people as first? Is that written right? As first people, first shot spread. What?
That shit is written wrong.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll go back to
what.
I don't know if you see
the UK
people give a second shot. First people.
Oh, we need that writing vaccine.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, what? All right.
I think
that shit is ebonics like a motherfucker.
I know. I thought it was me. I'm like, I know my eyes is messing up. I'm sweating over here. I'm sick. I'm like,
Thomas, I would assume they mean how are they getting it much faster than we are? And they had I guess where it came from. Well, we understand that one part of the world was China, the other part came from Europe. So people wondering why we may be in second or third place in receiving it. I would assume that's probably what they mean.
Oh, they said half doses spreading, and then spreading out the vaccine. Yeah, okay, I see it now.
Spreading out the vaccine, half doses.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess they had a question about the way it was disseminated, but we can't really assume what they're asking. But we do encourage everybody.
And that's the thing that bugs me. You have to give out the proper dose, man. They have a whole lot of stuff that they have to handle that they have to keep a track of. Because if you don't give out the proper dosage amount, and you have to figure that out sometimes, all right, you can create what's called a superbug. You know what I mean? And then it becomes, harder. It mutates. That's where the mutation comes from and everything. And that's just what I heard from learned.
Yeah. Well, I know that the vaccine comes in a vial, and in that vial, you can get 5 doses, out of that vial. And our pharmacists are highly qualified, and that's what they do. They measure, they make sure that there is diluted with the right stuff. I mean, 5 doses is what they have, and that's what each vial gives you. So I don't understand the question about giving second shots, first shots. You're going to get the same lot type of vaccine. I have my card. Both of them say Pfizer, and it has a lot number and everything on them. So we're 21 days apart.
Thomas, you think they're going to create a bootleg market for this vaccine? And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm dead serious. No, I hope because the thing is, everything with money, they're going to create a bootleg of it. You know what I mean?
Oh, God.
Don't take the bootleg vaccine, bro.
Well, you be getting a vaccine in the back of the barbershop with a tattoo parlor.
You cover for 15%. 15%. I pay the other remaining part in the installment.
Yeah, you pay it a little at a time. It's on layaway.
I think you have to be mighty desperate to get a vaccine out of in an alley or a barbershop.
Well, Thomas, I want to thank you because you have been the most informative across the board that I've known to actually have someone that can explain this. I appreciate you made some very salient points, and thank you so much for sharing it. I just want to say that I'm not closing it out. I was just saying, I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks, man.
Yo, all right, I'm going to Brad.
Platform.
Yeah, Robert asked, right now, is it projected that those of us in stage 3 of the receiving the vaccine will not receive it until April or May? Do you think they will distribute it at a faster rate?
Yes, I do. I have real confidence in the people that they have in charge of Operation Warp Speed and the people they have distributing it. I think as the virus continues to take a toll on our country, I think that they're going to up the game and make sure that it gets in the right hands and it's in the right quantities, and the people are going to get it so that we can get back to life as normal. Because if you think about it, man, our country in 2020, we saw a different thing in 2020. I mean, it was just crazy. And so, everyone wants and they're anxious to get back to life as normal, life as it used to be. And I think we're going to get there.
Brad said he'll be hitting golf balls off the Intrepid with his German Shepherd.
Whatever that means.
He's I Am Legend. Oh man. But no,
that's hilarious.
No, Thomas, like seriously, man, like I know you, and I'm glad that you broke it down to the people and stuff like that. I think it gives people a little bit more confidence, and now they can research a little bit more with the information that you gave to us tonight. You know, which is years of service and what you do at Howard Hospital. And my aunt works there, so you know it's a great hospital. My aunt name is Cheryl Crandall. I don't know if you know her. She one of the head nurses in charge.
Cheryl Brandle?
No, Crandall.
Crandall. Okay. I gotta look her up.
Then, so you know, we truly appreciate it. I think somebody. Oh, there's one more question. I heard that mercury is in one of the components used in the vaccine. Is mercury an ingredient in any of the vaccines that are being distributed from COVID?
I've never heard that. I've never heard anything about mercury being inside of one of the components of the vaccine. I never heard that.
This is what I'm saying. It's already starting the bootleg.
No, that's that barbershop version.
Yeah, that's that
mercury. It does.
Then there's going to be a rumor that says there's collard greens in one of the vaccines.
No,
you guys think
coming.
The natives will take it if it's Hennessy inside of it.
Yeah, if it's Hennessy, they're definitely taking it. If it's Hennessy in it, they're taking it.
More than once a year, though.
Let me tell you something. If you want to get a lot of black people vaccinated, tell them they get a bottle of Hennessy with a vaccination. They will come.
I'd like to thank all the sponsors for the time we had together.
The way you get the young people, you got to put in the hookah. You got to put in
hookah with a bottle of Hennessy, and they'll take it. They'll let you shoot it in their neck. They wouldn't care.
Yeah, Thomas.
Listen, y'all mess with Thomas. Thomas in military. Thomas is like most abusive.
Thomas think I did.
No, thank you, Thomas.
Thomas almost picked the right branch too. My son just finished boot camp in Navy. He almost picked the right branch. Yeah.
Thank you, Thomas.
Yeah,
excellent.
Thomas, thank you. Thank you.
Thomas, anything you want to say before you leave? Anything you want to say before you leave, Thomas?
Yes, I just want to thank you guys for this platform. You know, I was hoping after last week, you know, and I see a lot of us not taking the vaccine, but when I go look in the morgue at my hospital, it's nothing but us, and that scares me. And I just want to, I'm encouraging you all to consider. I ain't telling you to take it. Just think about the possibility of being 95% effective of not being able to spread or contract this crazy deadly virus. I mean, at 95%, I like my odds at that. And so that's why I appreciate this platform. This is better than the barbershop, even though I'll be in there tomorrow talking to brothers who want to hear about it. And I'm going to let them know about that Magic Johnson condom thing, just like I let you guys know. I mean, because that's real. The numbers don't lie.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man. Thomas, I can't wait to vacation with you again, man. So hopefully we'll see each other maybe 6 months. And if you bugging out, you trying to bite me, I will lay you down, Tom.
All right. Thank you, brother.
See you in 6 months, Thomas. We'll see you in 6 months,
man.
Oh, yes, we will. Yes, we will.
We love you, brother. We love you, brother.
Hey, love you too. Now, if I'm looking like Denzel Washington, y'all better go get that shot.
I'll be first online, brother. He got
that was good. All right. Thank you,
all
Thomas.
right, brothers. I'm out.
Good night. Have a good night, bro.
well, brother.
Yeah, man.
Yo, that's me, Demont. Yo, actually, Jamie, leave it right here for a second because I'm gonna save our credibility. The shirts just came in.
All right.
We have women's V-neck and we have regular unisex t-shirts. Brad, your shirt will be coming out. Lisa, your shirt will be coming out, and Brittany, your shirt will be going out on Monday morning. All right.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
No problem.
All right. So this was a great show, man. I mean, we got a lot today. We talked about politics. We talked about the vaccine. I mean, I can't say anything more than this. I was really impressed by this show. This was a great show. Great educational forum.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you guys did a great job.
Hey,
no, phenomenal. And I want to shout out my man D. I know D wasn't feeling his best today, but let me say something. Nobody would ever know it. You did a magnanimous job.
Let's acknowledge D on that one because people don't really realize, man. It was a tough year. It was a tough week for the brother.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
On a bunch of different fronts, man.
He was a soldier. He came out and got it done.
Appreciate it, man. Like, yeah, man. A lot of people passed away this way. I lost 6 people in 7 days. So it's like, people I know of.
Great.
So it was a hard week, and then I'm not feeling good, but I appreciate the love. I told Jamie, I said, I'll be there. Just give me a second. I'm gonna try to throw in 4 or 5 like Jordan come out, and they come out like Utah when he played against Utah with that flu.
That's not Jordan right there.
That's right, the flu game. The flu game.
Flu
There
game.
you go.
Yeah.
Clutch, brother.
Man, so listen, man, I love you guys, man. People follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, and wherever you get your social media services at. We love you all. Thanks for rocking with us again. If you have any questions, hit us up.
Yeah, and we're gonna be expanding the show. We're gonna be doing the Vice. We're gonna have a Vice segment, and we're gonna have contests where you guys can win shirts.
I don't know if y'all want my advice. It ain't. It might go left on you real quick, and I'm just trying to fair warning. I'm just saying.
Derek, I'm sure you can help somebody, Derek. I'm sure you can help
we'll
somebody.
see.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. All right. Peace, y'all. Peace, everyone. Have a good one. Be safe.
Have a good night, everybody.
All right.